We are an NGO that is based in Matatiele. We work with community-based organizations around Matatiele that have women who care for orphans and vulnerable children. At the moment, we have 4 community organizations that we work with. The one is in Ponseng, the other one is in Zitapile, Mazizini, and Bubesi. So those are the villages that we work with. In those community-based organizations, we do we do have drop-in centers. So the community-based organizations have drop-in centers where the children come in after school to receive a plate of food, nutritious meal. They also get help with their homeworks. They do after-school activities, be it reading, playing, just interact with the children, because most of them live with the elderly, the grandmothers, who are not literate, who cannot help them with homework, and who are tired and busy. So the drop-in centers serve as a safe hub for these children to be cared for in every aspect of their lives. During school holidays, we also have the therapeutic holiday programs where the children learn to play with art, paint, clay, so that they practice, using clay and paint. We also have a youth program in each village where the youth are taught about leadership and life skills. So now, as African solutions to African problems, after the COVID-19 outbreak, the president announced that the schools should be closed. So as I mentioned, that those drop-in centers do provide meals for children every day after school. We found out that there are children who are going to suffer during this period. They are not going to be getting that one plate that they get at school at 10 o'clock, and they're not going to get the extra plate that they get at the center around 3 p.m. And then they go home. We don't know whether there is anything to eat in the evening. So those 2 plates of food are essential. Now the schools are closed. There is no way where they're going to get that plate at 10 o'clock. And as a precaution, we also felt that it was wise to advise the drop-in centers to close as well, because they are run by all, the elderly. The people who volunteer at the centers are old, and we know that those are the most vulnerable to this COVID-19. So the centers are also closed. So we sat down and looked at what can we do in order to make sure that these children are cared for even during this period, because it's pointless for us to to care for them when there is no crisis and then drop them when things get hard or difficult. So we've spoken to each drop-in center, and they are going to distribute food parcels to those children, to those families that they feel need supplies. So they're going to do assessments within their villages and see which family requires food parcels, and they are going to provide those food parcels. And we are going to do everything in our means, within our means, to make sure that they do not run out of those supplies. And also, we know that in order to protect yourself from the coronavirus, you have to practice hygiene. You have to wash your hands regularly. You have to sanitize if you can. You have to, sanitize your surfaces all the time. So we have, as ASAP, procured those products. As you can see in our baki and on the floor there, we've managed to get some sanitizers. We got some jik, and we have soap, like the sunlight bar. So we're going to distribute those in all the in all the villages where we work, in all the households, not only the ones that we care for, but everyone, because we can care for one family and then the neighbor is not protected, then because we can't control movement. But though the president did say it's a lockdown, everyone should stay indoors. So we're hoping that people are doing that, and we're appealing that people actually heed to that and stay at home. So we are going to give jik to each household. We're going to give a bar of soap to each household. But when it comes to sanitizers, we can't provide to each household. We are going to assess as well and look for families where there is a grandmother and very young children, because those are not able, we know that they have to go to the well or to the communal tap to collect water. So they do that for their day-to-day needs. But now they are required to do more, fetch more water in order to be washing hands all the time. So we're going to provide sanitizers to relieve them.
uDube uthi bafumene inkxaso kwabanye somashishini kule dolophu yaseMatatiele.
At the moment, we're using funds that we had for other programs, like our day-to-day programs that we run, but we had to respond. So we've diverted our funds in order to respond to the COVID-19. And we've had some positive response from some local businesses in Matatiele. We've had some Seedfreds, donate tanks of diesel for our baki. We've had people like Tracy and her aerobics team providing jig, soap, and even food, in order for us to be able to assist in those communities where we were.